Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Friday edition. It's Friday. Yes, we made it. Welcome to PreMarket Prep. Spencer Israel, Dennis Dick, Joel Elconin is here. He'll be back in just a second. He had to step away for a quick moment. Got a lot to talk about today. It is a jobs Friday. Yes, all right. We have a jobs number. We're going to talk about that. We have earnings. We're going to talk about the buy the dip action yesterday in it felt like everything, didn't it? It seemed like everything was going up yesterday. So we'll talk about that. I don't feel great about it. We'll get Joel and Dennis's thoughts on that in a moment. We'll take questions from our chat. As always, smash the like button. There, it's up on the screen. Take 2 seconds out of your morning. Thank you very much. Subscribe. Do all that good stuff. Joel, I'm going to bring up your charts here. How are we doing in this morning's pre-market session?
We're doing okay. We're up 1 3/4 handles at 44.23 1/4. Crude making its way back towards 70. That is up 76 cents. It's 69.85. Gold just can't get away from 1,800. That's down 7.90 at 18.01. Silver's in the red by 23 cents at 25.06. In the futures and the cryptocurrencies after that nice rally yesterday, giving a little back. We have Bitcoin down $355 at 40,400, and Ethereum down a little bit more on a percentage basis. That's down 2.5%, $72 at 27.36. So kind of a buy the dip day yesterday. Doesn't look like we're having any dips yet. Maybe we'll get a dip off that jobs number.
Who knows? I mean, yesterday was the ultimate buy the dip morning. It really was. You had Etsy open up near the lows, and they ripped it and filled the whole gap. You had Uber open up near the lows, ripped it, and ended up closing up green for the day. You had and full disclosure, I bought Etsy and I bought Uber at the open. Actually, I believe just slightly in the pre-market just after the show yesterday. So those both worked out well. I'm still long both of them, full disclosure. Put them in the long-term account. And we talked, and obviously I talked about that. I liked Uber. So after the show, I was like, you know what? I talked about it. I liked it. I had multiple people ask me if I was going to buy it. I was like, okay, I am. And so I bought right around 40.50. Etsy,
wow.
I bought at,
I didn't think you were going to do that.
You didn't think I was going to buy it?
No, you talked.
I was on the fence. Like I wanted to do it, but then you guys were trying to talk me out of it.
You said you liked it.
I wasn't trying to talk you out of it.
Spencer was.
Well, no, you said.
He's like, why?
Yeah, you're right. You said you liked it and all, but I just thought, okay. And then I came back a couple hours later and I thought, oh, there's no way Dennis bought this rally, because you never buy the rally. So anyway.
I bought before the rally. So I bought it at 40.5. So it was dipping. And Etsy was the same thing. So in the pre-market, they were both down. Obviously, Uber was a lot lower. It just felt like it was going to be the kind of day they were going to come in and buy the dip. I didn't buy more fastly. I should have, because Joel had a great call on that one. He thought I was going to trade 37. Hell, Joel didn't trade 37, traded 42. So ultimate buy the dip worked on fastly as well. It also worked on little stock ZY. My chat was telling me. Kathy Wood had bought a bunch on the dip from the previous day, and that thing ripped higher yesterday too. So once again, buy the dip wins the day. I don't know. It's like clockwork. How do you stop them? How do you stop the buy the dip mentality? I've got it too. I mean, it's worked its way into me. I'm like, stock down 15%. Might as well buy it. I'm like, I don't know. That's what this market is.
Wait, what's more likely to happen? Dennis sells his Uber, or he gets into an Uber first. What's going to happen first? He
Sell Uber
or he sells his Uber.
$50. Uber got back to $50. I'd be a seller, because that's where you have all the congestion from before. I kind of had that in my head of 40 to 50 trades. So we got halfway. I didn't think I got halfway there yesterday almost. When I was at the peak of 44.65. Etsy, I was kind of had the 200 on the brain. It didn't quite get there yesterday, but wow, what a comeback for that too. I mean, again, just ultimate buy the dip market yesterday. Really huge examples all over.
And look how Dennis stays hedged in his long-term portfolio. He buys a stay-at-home stock and he buys a reopening stock.
See, I don't know where this delta's going. So like, I'll buy one. I'll buy Etsy, stay at home. I'll buy. I even thought that too, Joel. And Uber. I got a reopening play. And I got a little bit of the Uber Eats. So a little bit of the best of both worlds.
You guys don't have Uber up there, do you? Where you're at?
Of course we have Uber.
Do you really?
We don't have Lyft, though. I don't think there's Lyft. I think there's Lyft maybe in Toronto. But up where I'm at, I'm up on Georgian Bay and like nosebleed for you guys.
Wait, so you have Uber, but can you actually get an Uber?
You can where I'm at. Yeah, Uber.
That's everywhere. What you do during the day.
I rode an Uber. I rode an Uber 2 years ago. It was the last time I was in an Uber before the pandemic started in my area.
Wait,
so yes, I can get an Uber here. I can get an Uber right now. You want me to get my app out and see if I can get an
let's
Uber?
see how long it will take. Because
it will be longer. Yes. There's probably only 2 or 3 drivers in the area, so I don't have 1,000 drivers. So it will be longer.
They drive up from Toronto to get you?
No, there's local drivers. They're teasing. Toronto, I believe, has Lyft. I don't know, Canadians. Is Lyft in Canada yet? Because I know that Lyft is not around here. They're saying it's coming to Halifax. I'm pretty sure Lyft is in Toronto. I don't think Lyft is in this area, though, which I'm about an hour and a half north of Toronto.
Dennis, you've just stumbled upon a great. I mean, there's limited supply, and if there's single demand for it, why don't you be an Uber driver?
You want me to become an Uber driver? That would be fun. A little bit. I'm a little bit too scared of COVID, though.
I know.
Yeah, but you love talking to people.
That's a frontline job.
Yeah, that's true.
Do I love talking to people?
I
suppose I do.
Maybe you don't.
Sometimes I like talking.
No, you like talking at people. That's what it is.
People. I like talking at people.
Yes, that's what it is.
I like talking at people.
You can just like.
Oh,
then you would be like, I could see you with like sentiment. You'd be like, oh, these people are asking about this stock, and this people are asking about this stock. But
it's pick on Denny morning, apparently.
No.
My overnight portfolio, although I did well in Etsy and Uber yesterday, my overnight portfolio is picking on me this morning here as well. So it's pick on Denny Friday morning. I guess, sometimes it's TGIF. It's not for me today because I'm actually getting the beats in my overnight stocks, but that's another story.
All right. Well, since we're on the buy the dip reopening trade, I mean, we all saw the same thing yesterday, and every reopening stock, whether it's the airlines or the cruise lines or Uber, whatever. Tell us. I want your thoughts on that because to me, this seems like just classic, not going to hold, like just one day rally, whatever. Short-term rally, not going to hold. Nothing changed fundamentally yesterday from the day before. So why would this rally hold at all?
Quantitatively speaking, when you have stocks that are in downtrends and you get those counter rallies, they typically only last a couple of days. And usually they start to find sellers again. And you can clearly see on some classic reopening stocks like American Airlines, been in a downtrend here for the last month or two for sure. If you look out, I mean, if you go further, you could argue that there's an uptrend there still, like Joel was saying. But if you look in the last month and a half, it's in a downtrend. Every rally has still been met with more sellers. So does that happen again with American Airlines? Does that happen again with Royal Caribbean? Does that happen again with Wynn Resorts? The betting money would say that, yes, you're correct, Spencer. That's probably just, a little bit of a dead cat bounce. And, you often get a 2 or 3 day relief rally, and then it's just met with more sellers. But the other, part of this equation is that, these stocks are massively oversold. And these stocks, on a valuation perspective, are a lot cheaper than they were a couple months ago. So I don't know when the current downtrend ends here, but it's still intact for all these stocks. So that would mean that I'm more of a sell the rip as opposed to buy the rip, which I never do. But I tend to agree with you. I think if you're underweight reopening stocks, I think I'd use pullbacks to get into those things. I want to be buying them after 10% rallies. Again, the name of the game is buy the dip or sell the rip, not buy the rip. So when I'm seeing stocks rip up 10%, that's not the day I'm going in them. So, I mean, that's how I play it. I mean, sometimes, stock rips up 10%, sometimes goes up another 10%. It's harder for a stock in an uptrend. So I'd use pullbacks if I wanted to enter some of those stocks, like Uber yesterday. I was like, I want a reopening stock. I said on the show, I thought Uber was one of the best reopening plays. So I bought it, and I was rewarded for it.
Is there someone at 21 in American Airlines? I'm just curious because it stopped
I
at
do have my book open. Hang on.
Okay,
No, wait.
okay.
American Airlines I can't see that because it's not a New York Stock Exchange.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh, that's right.
They moved it. They moved it a number of years ago. It is Nasdaq. I do see a Nasdaq Total View. There's some size there, and I also see an ARCA book. There's some size there, and you can actually see that because it's level 1 right now, 21. So there's a little bit of stock there.
Okay,
it's a big level.
I'm just, everyone's talking, the reopening and stay. I just think, why is the reopening going to be like the way it was before? First of all, airlines they've always been like the Roach Motel for stocks, right? They've always, they rent them, they go up, they go down. So really long-term trends, American Airlines has been in a downtrend since it peaked near $60 in 2018. I think, and we can't have our crystal ball and look beyond, and see what the future 2, 3, 5 years, but airline travel, like I keep saying with these big airplanes, I just think travel and leisure is just going to be different. I don't know if it's going to be cruises. I don't know. It's just things have changed, and I just don't know. I mean, you can look at these for trades and everything, but man, they had a nice move off their March lows. They some of them got over their February highs. For example, for American Airlines, it never even got near its actually never even got near its February high at 30.78. You had all those the dilutions. So I don't know. For trades, yeah. For long-term investments, no.
There's too many unknowns here still for the airlines. But there is some stocks, like I said, I'm picking like some, think about where Uber was. It's a reopening stock, but this is the difference between an Uber and American Airlines. Think about where it was before COVID started. They were, pretty much firing on all cylinders. I mean, if you go back, obviously you can say, oh yeah, it was down from 40 to 30, but I mean, overall, Uber was a growing business. It wasn't a business that, had plateaued. It wasn't a business that, in decline. It's a growing business. So I look to those reopening plays now that, were doing well before the pandemic started. So Uber and Lyft fit that bill. So there's also Airbnb, I believe, fits that bill. So that's why I was saying on the show yesterday, I like Airbnb. I did not buy it because it didn't have a 10% dip for me to jump in on. But if Airbnb was to get a dip here now, I would buy it. I've already played Airbnb once. I wish I would have rebought at the double bottom at 130 12 trading sessions ago, but I didn't. On a pullback here, I would buy Airbnb. On a pullback here, and that's what it is. Have your shopping list, and when they start to give you an opportunity, Uber is one that was on my shopping list. I was in it once, actually short, and then I was like, I didn't want to take it through the report. Comes out, and it was a good call. I didn't take it through the report. I got it cheaper. Now I'm back in it. So have your shopping list. You get those dips. Use that opportunity to, to do some shopping.
All right, I stand corrected. I would have thought I'm surprised to hear you bought Uber, but you learned something new every day. Let's talk about. We were having a great discussion before the show about the video game stocks. And we have Zynga reporting overnight, and the numbers were actually I guess they were okay. They were mixed. The EPS came in above estimates, 11 cents versus 9 cents. Sales came in below estimates, $628 million versus $713 million. They also announced a smallish deal. They're going to buy Starlog for $525 million in cash and stock. Regardless, Zynga, ZNGA, is going the same way as the rest of its peers in the past few months. We've talked about Activision and Take-Two and EA and now Zynga, and the whole space is just punished.
I mean, it started with the Take-Two report, just going back to, and I'm long Take-Two, full disclosure, but going back to 4 days ago. As soon as they slammed Take-Two on not that bad of a report, it wasn't that bad. I was like, okay, I got to lighten up my gaming exposure. So that day, I sold my Zynga, and I sold my Zynga at $10, or it's just under 10, like $9.90. But there was two reasons why I sold my Zynga. One, I still like the company because Michael Pachter likes the company, so I still want to rebuy this company. But there was one, I was nervous taking through the report after Take-Two didn't respond well to an okay report. But then two, it had just been too long. It'd been $10, $10.50, and now it starts going back to single digits. I'm like, no, I don't want to own it. It's going back under $10. So technically, it lined up that it was a sell, and then if you're looking from a sympathy pure play, it looked like a sell as well because they were starting to hammer gaming stocks. Take-Two was down, Activision Blizzard went down. Actually, Activision had a decent report, and they still hit Activision back down afterwards. EA was bounced on the report yesterday, and wow, what a rug pull on EA. It was trading up, made a new high on the move, full key reversal, made all and closes down near and below the previous day's low. That was an ugly, ugly chart. So all of that was warning Will Robinson that the gaming stocks are completely out of favor here right now. Are they going to come back into favor? Yes, they will. I still believe, I still like all these companies. The only one I'm still long is Take-Two. I want to own them all. I want to own EA. I want to own Activision. I want to own my Zynga again. But I'm not striking when they're clearly out of favor. I'm going to wait until they start to turn and start to show some type of stabilization, and maybe the story starts to change again. But right now, and the China headline spooked me too. I mean, there was so many reasons why it was telling you to lighten up on your gaming exposure, and that saved me on Zynga because right now, obviously Michael Pachter, came on our show, said he loved the company. I bought it for that reason, but just technically speaking, starts taking out the 10, getting down to single digits again, and you got all the other gaming stocks getting hit. Kind of the ducks were all in a row to say, look, sell it now, rebuy it later.
Wow, this EA is just such a different looking chart than the other ones. Let's see, what was the low from yesterday? The low from yesterday was 34.84, and you have all these monthly lows in this area. I would keep an eye on this thing. That low from yesterday, 134.86. Things really open up to the downside there. And man, if you're a big holder in this stock and have a large position and you look at the relative performance of this versus the other ones, I mean, are they that much different? I mean, obviously that candle yesterday said no. So not just a daily level, but you got a monthly level here. Let's just call it 135. I think after that, you got some room on the downside, at least under 130. Your next monthly low comes in at 127.17. I looked at Zynga here that did, it lost the double digits here. And then I was looking on the monthly and I'm like, well, really, there's nothing until $8 when you look at the monthly, right? Going back to December. And lo and behold, your pre-market low comes in
big
at
level
772. Whoa, someone got real. It's just gonna. I think 8. I don't know if you're gonna get as low as that pre-market low, but I think before this turns and goes north, you're gonna have to put in like multiple lows at this $7.80 to $8 level, and then see if you can turn it. That's what I'm looking at in Zynga, ZNGA.
There was a couple more on Zynga. They also did lower their EBITDA guidance, and they said the same thing that everyone else is saying, right? Look, no, everyone is not at home anymore, right? They're all doing other things with their time. The one thing or two things that I thought were interesting were their daily active users still came in above the street estimate, and so did their mobile monthly active users. So it's the same story that we've seen with all these stay-at-home plays. I think there's a lot of noise here, right? There's a lot of noise in this space. You have China, like you mentioned, and no one knows what's going on there. You've got weak charts. You've got, we're coming into the holiday season here in a few months, and is there any one game that everyone's playing right now? There's not really. There's no, one, like Fortnite from a few years ago, right? There's no one game that everyone is talking about right now that has
a gaming environment
that has everyone excited. I saw this tweet this morning that I thought was funny. Matthew Ball is if you don't know him, he's a huge bull on video games and the metaverse and all that. And I thought this tweet was funny because it was, a screenshot of this opinion column in Bloomberg. But obviously, like, video games are not done, but the space is out of favor right now. And yeah, there's just a lot of I can imagine being long. I'm not. Well, I am actually because I own the ESPO, but I can imagine being long these stocks and being like, what is going on? It's not like these video games are going away, but that's kind of how it goes
The
sometimes.
whole world moves in waves. Every single aspect of your life actually moves in waves, and the stock market is no difference. I mean, think about COVID waves. Think about, I'm feeling good. All of a sudden, something bad happens in your life. You're not feeling as good. The whole life moves in waves. Right now, gaming stocks are on the way down from the wave. Will they come up again? Absolutely. But right now, we like to ride the waves up, and we don't like to participate on the waves down. That's kind of how, I try to do my swing trading. It's how I try to do my intraday trading, even on a day trading basis, but you're riding those waves. And you want to be riding, if you're long, you want to be riding the stocks that are in the up wave, and you don't want to be holding them when they're in the down wave. Right now, the gaming stocks are clearly in the down wave. Take-Two started that party probably 3-4 days ago, even though China probably helped with, their commentary about games as well. So, I mean, so many things working against the video gamers right now. It's the down wave right now. Is it going to come back eventually? Yeah. But we don't know where we are in the wave. So, maybe we're getting towards the bottom. Maybe, we're going to go in back, and we're going to be worried about COVID, and we're not going to go out as much. We're going to go back home, play video games. That's a possibility, but I don't think it's imminent. So I don't see that being imminent here yet. And that's why right now I just want to have lighter exposure to the video games.
Let's not forget, Netflix will be a video game play in a couple years. So keep that in the back of your radar. Okay, let's move on to, we have the jobs number in 8 minutes. Let's talk about, we have Expedia earnings. We can go there. We can go Beyond Meat. We can go Dropbox. Where would you like to go? We can go Zillow, Shake Shack.
We'll go to Expedia. You're getting a big down move here through key support right now at 150. 150 is critical support.
Yep.
It has taken it out only in the pre-market, so I never say that it's taken out support until it actually does it during the regular session, because it might just be a few shares, takes it out and gets it back up above 150. If this holds 150, that is your level. One thing to consider is that they have been buying reopening stocks in the last couple of days, and Expedia is clearly a reopening stock. So you're getting a dip on a stock like area that has actually moved back into favor in the last couple of days. Is that sustainable? Well, it's going to depend on a lot on what the Delta news flow is going to happen. But I think if 150 can hold, it has the potential to bounce. I don't like it through 150 right now, though. So that makes me a little bit nervous.
I this one, sometimes I look at the pre-market chart and you have a little bit of a feel, whether or not there's a step down seller or there's buyers out there. When we were talking about Uber on the show yesterday, I'm going to the upper left chart here. It already had that panic after hours low where it got to 37.80, and then it just it kind of moseyed up to the 40, and it just looked like someone was nibbling and they really wanted 40. And then this is when we actually talked about it on the show. Now you go to Expedia here, and obviously it's a higher price stock, doesn't trade as much volume. I don't get that same vibe. I don't, because you did hit that 148.30 and you got a bounce. You got a nice bounce up to 154. I don't know if those are just some late prints, but I go and I look at the monthly here. And what am I leaning on here? If I'm taking a stab at 150 based on the monthly charts, what am I leaning on? I'm not leaning on 125.65. That's for sure.
You're leaning on 150.
Yeah.
It's got to get back above 150 before you make the trade.
Yep.
Can I read you I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
No, it's under there right now. Keep eye on the pre-market low 148.30.
Needs to get back up above 150 before I get interested. I'm not interested under 150. If you can hold above 150, if we open at 150 and start to rally from there, then it sets up, for a bounce trade. But below 150, So it's got to be above 150 for me to be interested. I
want to read straight from the press release for the comments from the CEO. The second quarter saw continued improvement in many global travel segments, with North America in particular showing strength. Expedia Group benefited from strong vacation rental performance and improved conventional lodging, offset, this is the key part now, offset by continued softness in international travel, corporate travel, and relatively high consumer interest in smaller markets and lower end accommodations. So in some respects it was good, but that like the chat's been all over it, right? Corporate travel, business travel, still
when's that coming back?
Still lagging.
When's that coming back? Corporate travel.
It's not. We know that. It's not. It's not coming back to what it was. is not getting back to where it was 2018. Can the leisure travel pick it up? Because we get more leisure travel, this rebound, maybe short term, but still not good for, but Expedia, how much is Expedia more of a leisure play? Spencer, I'm asking you. Because are you have corporate executives going on Expedia to book their flights?
Well, well, it's funny you ask, because as a corporate executive, I have my assistant do it, so I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
No. We don't use Expedia. I have never used Expedia. I haven't used Expedia in years.
I feel like it's more leisure travel. Am I correct?
I can only speak to what we do at Benzinga, which is price shop like crazy.
Yeah. Maybe they do use them all.
Is that how we ended up with the Pennsylvanian?
That's exactly right, Joel.
Man. Worst hotel I ever stayed at. Anybody ever stayed at? I still have nightmares about that hotel. The only hotel I was ever at that I put my suitcase against the door.
Which one?
The hotel.
Maybe we shouldn't give the name. They might.
No. We can talk about this. It's the Hotel Pennsylvania, which is across the street from the Garden in New York City.
It wasn't the fanciest hotel in the world.
Oh, it was terrible. I've been using.
Spencer ditched us.
I did
to go stay at his aunt's. I wish I would have went with them.
I ditched so hard. No. I've used Google Flights or Google. Google Flights to book my flights for years. It's Expedia, but I think better. Anyway, I don't know how many businesses, to answer your question. I have no insight into how.
I just feel like it's more of a leisure travel play, and leisure travel is going to hold up better than business travel, as opposed to just buying an airline, which is get majority of their revenues from business. I feel like Expedia and Booking are more leisure. They're still going to get some business, but I would think that they get the majority from leisure. So it makes me more attracted to a Booking and Expedia TripAdvisor than in buying an airline directly. Yeah. So and obviously you have the whole Airbnb aspect of it all too. I mean, they have.
I guess
those
Expedia
on there as well.
owns VRBO, which is a competitor with Airbnb. VRBO. I know this is.
All these names just remind me of like 2007, like Hotwire, Expedia, Booking, Travelocity. Like, I don't know. I haven't used any of these services in years, so it just reminds.
I never use them. I have Lisa look at them and get the best.
Yeah,
deals.
but has Lisa used it? I don't know.
I don't know what she goes on to.
I always used to use Travelocity when I used to travel
10 years ago, maybe.
Hey, Dex, 1 minute.
I don't know.
1 minute.
I'm a creature of habit. I'm
1
still
minute,
using
Dennis.
the iPhone 5.
Wait, Dennis,
go wide.
Okay. We're all lost.
Go wide.
It's 29.
All right. I'm going on mute.
We'll see if we get.
Is it going to get some action, or do I just stay? Okay. If we don't get action the first 10 seconds, I'm not going to stay off. I'm going on mute.
Jobs number coming. Expectation is for non-farm payrolls to increase by 870,000 compared to the 850,000 print last time around. Unemployment rate expected to fall to 5.7% from 5.9%. And
There's 1 minute for you guys, for all you crazy people out there that like to follow a 1 minute chart. Jobs report imminent. We just dipped. We touched mid-range on the session. Let's see. Who cares what the numbers are? We'll see if we get the Mark Chaikin scenario of good news no matter what. Boom. Man, 1 minute. I'm glad Triple D is going wide here. Really, the battle of 44.20. I can't look at that chart. I can't make any decisions.
Yes, you can.
No, it's like
okay. There we go. 940. Took me a second. 943,000 jobs added. 943 versus an 870,000 estimate. So a hot number this morning. So again, we have 850,000 jobs added last month. I'm sorry, 2 months ago. 943,000 jobs added last month. So a very nice beat on the payroll, on the non-farm payroll.
Like it.
Unemployment rate 5.4%. So we were expected to fall to 5.7. We actually fell to 5.4. Very nice report. Very nice report. Average hourly earnings up as well, up 0.36%. Look at that. Very nice report.
And there it was, another buy the dip opportunity. They took it just under mid-range on the session, which came in at 20.50. You had an order out there. You got done. Boom, quick 10 points in your pocket. Just printed 44.29. If I said there was resistance, folks, I'd be lying to you because there is no resistance. We took out the high from yesterday. One tool that I rely on for levels based on ranges has 44, 30, 75 and 44, 41 and a quarter. So dip, then rip. We might not be seeing triple D here because this is definitely some action. Let's I guess we can get off this crazy chart here.
Now everyone now be honest with me, chat. Raise your hand if you were freaking out about the terrible ADP report on Wednesday.
Because you said that.
Because I did say it's all only good in the context of other stuff, right? So the ADP report was terrible on Wednesday for July, and in this case, it did not predict what the actual government figures were going to be. It's a horrible ADP report. Good jobless claims, right? Yesterday, if I recall correctly, and a fantastic jobs report this morning. Again, more jobs added and unemployment rate continuing to go down. So, yeah, great report. These numbers, they don't always line up, right? Now, this is the real question.
I know what you're going to say. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Jerome Powell.
Yeah. What are you going to do, Jerry?
Jerome Powell has said he is waiting. He's waiting for more recovery in the labor market. So, does this change where their heads are at?
I tell you, Spencer, we've just been working too long together because immediately when I saw the pop, the hot economy, I said, "Oh, will this give a lift to the banks?"
It did,
right?
TLT selling off, banks rallying. Joel, Spencer, you're correct with that train of thought. We know Pump and Powell still likes to pump, though. But, I mean, you're getting a relief pop here for that reason. Good number. Banks lifting on this, saying, hey, maybe we can look at that interest rate thing again. But, and also, if you're looking the opposite direction with this number, QQQ going down. So we clearly are seeing rotation here. Tech getting hit here a little bit on this number. Banks, the clear beneficiary on this number.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of these banks as they're trading. Wow, blows through 39, didn't even blink there. Wow, several highs at 39. We had been talking about that level. It was even above it before the report. So leaning at least the early traders leaning right there in Bank of America. I mean, these stocks have not been able to get off the mat since their earnings reports. You have a nice little bid here. Ooh, things looks like you got some clear real estate and JP Morgan if this rally continues up to 156. Just for a more general look, we'll take a look at the XLF. That a little bit thicker. That trading, they had multiple highs at 37. It cleared that. So what? So you mentioned tech. So this is not great.
Small
for
caps
tech.
too, lifting on this.
Reopening lifting on this.
Yeah. And the IWM is more the reopening trade. So you're absolutely right. Reopening trade is lifting as well. Airlines lifting, pun fully intended. When is up here. I mean, you can just go through them all. The reopening trade lifting here. This is, this is clear, going to be a clear rotation day. I mean, SPY's come in, SPY's flat, but you got QQQ getting smacked around. You got the banks ripping higher. So rotation station once again.
May payrolls revised to 614K from 583K.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, so that's all good, right? What did Mark say yesterday? If it's a good number, they'll rally it, right? Because of the economy's doing great, everything's perfect, and if it's a punk number, boom, then we might get more stimulus. I don't know how much lower interest rates can go, but we are 6 points off the high. We are now 7 points off the high. So I think that initial euphoria is kind of fading here, and now they're thinking about the interest rate scenario. We're about to go red here on the session, Triple D.
Just
So
stop looking at SPY and stop looking at futures, because you know what? SPY goes nowhere. And there's a reason SPY is just boring and doesn't go anywhere, because you have so much
sell
separation.
something, then buy something.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. S&P's got it all. So if you want just the boring, slow little drift higher, SPY's got it. You want the separation, you got to get down and dirty and get away from the SPY, because right now we have a clear, it looks like a boring nothing going morning if you're looking at SPY when it's flat. That is absolutely not the case. Banks are still continuing to go higher here. And now you have the QQQ trading down over $1, IWM trading higher. So it's like QQQ and IWM are polar opposites. And then S&P's got a little bit of both, so it just kind of sits in the middle and does nothing. Grinds, yeah, exactly. And that's why, we haven't seen any serious sell-off in SPY, because when they're selling one sector, they're still buying another sector, and that keeps SPY flat, and I don't know. That's definitely, this number looks like a sell tech, at least so far. Stuff can change, but it looks like a sell tech morning, and buy what Spencer was saying, the reopening stocks.
Apple, how Apple looks like it's going to one of these sleepy modes. We had this kind of price action in Apple, just boring from really May, June, and then at the end of June, it broke out, had the nice move. The great earnings really couldn't take it through that 150, and now you're getting this similar pattern. So I'm not going to miss this one. The 145, this is a little bit of a tighter range too. 145 to 150. We break down through 145. You can see what you have on the downside. You break above 150, which we haven't even, has Apple been, did that have, look at that, less than a 2-point range, 2 sessions in a row. So you got your consolidation in Apple. Microsoft, one number only, 290. That's all you need to pay attention to.
Can't take it out. Can't seem to do it. Just can't. This isn't going to be the day either. If TLT stays down like this, I don't think this is going to be the day for Microsoft either. This could, fail here once again for the umpteenth time. Amazon coming in. It's clear rotation this morning. Interesting.
Yep. Amazon. Wow.
Another one of these days.
Yep. 3 highs, 33.90. Just can't get in to fill the gap. Doesn't look like it's going to do it today. Google down 680. Same thing since its report. We're looking at holding 2,700. Facebook had a rebound day yesterday, working its way back into the gap area. So there it is. It's a clear rotation. We'll see if Bank America is keeping going here, and see. Well, we just got over 39.60. Keep an eye on these pre-market highs in these banks, because for Bank America, that's a big move. It takes a lot of stock to move that during the regular session.
And Joe's going through all the big names in the queues. If you go with the next tier down, though, you get names like Tesla and Nvidia and PayPal and Adobe. Those all make up more than 2% of the queues as well. And they're
getting hit.
They're all getting hit, but my point is not as much. So maybe, everyone associates that they see queues down. They run to Apple, run to Microsoft, run to Amazon, run to Google, run to Facebook. I'm giving you the next tier down there: PayPal, Nvidia, Tesla, Adobe. So maybe run there as well. TLT continuing to drop, obviously, as the banks rip higher. So
it's amazing the correlation between the TLT and the Qs. And this didn't exist months ago. We never noticed this. It was not a clear correlation. But let's look at the last 2 months of the TLT and look at the last 2 months of the Qs. And it is not a coincidence. It is so correlated with the TLT. So when you're trading the tech stocks, it cares about rates, which is, you never would have thought that.
I know.
But they're like looking and saying, hey, if we're going into a rising interest rate environment, then those future earnings that we're buying on all these tech names, and maybe not so much the big cap, but the PayPals, and the growth tech, it's growth tech that gets hit harder, it seems like, when we start to get interest rate concerns again, because those future earnings that you're buying in those growth tech stocks aren't worth as much in a rising interest rate environment. We haven't had a rising interest rate environment for a long time, which is why we haven't had to worry about that. But we're not in that environment yet. but the market is wondering if we're going to that environment, and that's why the market cares. That's why tech stocks actually care about the TLT.
All right. You mentioned that TLT a little bit in the red today. Bank stocks showing some strength. Any other? When we covered those two, is there anything else? We talked about the reopening stocks, perhaps getting a lift. Did take out that 21 Southern American Airlines. Good call on that last dip in the S&Ps, Dennis. But right down to above mid-range, and now creeping back up 4.5 handles, and this is new all-time high territory, folks. So looks like closing the week on the high, at least for now.
Yeah, if you're wondering, where are all the jobs? It's leisure hospitality was once again the biggest gainer. Although leisure hospitality did gain fewer jobs in July than in June. Regardless, 380,000 jobs added in the leisure hospitality sector last month. Government, 240,000 jobs added last month. That was number 2. Education and health at 87,000 jobs added. Business services, 60,000 jobs added. So anyway, I'm going back to the last report because I'm just curious to see how the growth rate is going throughout the summer. And I want to go ahead.
We just got a tip from Noah here. I want to take it over to DraftKings because this is the big report of the morning. It is trading up. Thanks, Noah, for the tip. It's a big move here for DraftKings. It's a breakout for DraftKings. The move in Penn Gaming was incredible yesterday. You want to talk about a buy the dip opportunity?
Yeah.
We gave, Etsy, we gave Uber. We didn't really talk. We talked Penn, but we never really gave an opinion on it. I obviously still have some Penn in my long-term portfolio, which has been a dog. Wow, what a reversal, though. Opens up near the lows around $62 and straight up $10 throughout the day. It could build on the day. It is bumping. It's going to bump against major resistance. Can it take out the 73 to 74 to think about 80? That is a huge move, though. So
I know.
So, and we're going to come back to DraftKings too, because it's start with DraftKings, but we do Penn and DraftKings together. But DKNG, maybe we should go get the report, and then we'll break down the technicals of both those stocks together.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. This is such a pesky area, and you just to come back up all the way. You had all those highs of 73. They had that one day where they sucked everybody in. They went to 73.97. This was on the 28th, and then they flushed the toilet on them. And then yesterday you get 73. 43 is the high. Dennis, I mean, I don't like to give a wide range, but I think you nailed it there exactly. 73, 74, that whole area for Penn. S&P's leaking again, just noting it. Not that it means anything.
Yeah, I hate the S&P. Joel, so let's go,
DKNG.
Spencer.
Yeah, DKNG.
Give us a report.
It is funny how a chart can influence, your opinion. Because if you'd asked me about DraftKings yesterday, I would have said, oh, it just sort of favor. But now I'm coming in, oh, it looks pretty good here. Anyway, DraftKings EPS beat, sales beat, and a guidance raising their guidance, not by a crazy amount, but a raise is a raise is a raise. Nonetheless, so a beat, and a raise this morning here on DKNG. We're at $54, and like I said, all of a sudden, you're up a few bucks, and you think, hey, it's not that bad.
Like I always say, story can flip on a dime, and guess what happened yesterday?
Yeah, it did. It did.
What happened yesterday?
You're absolutely right. With Penn Gaming, it flipped, and with DraftKings, it's set up well into the report, and all of a sudden, boom, you get the move. Joel, I'm going to throw you the technicals because
56. It's only one number. One
number. It's 56.
56. You got to get there.
Does it get rejected there? I mean, you're going to get thicker when you get 55 to 56, so it's not easy sledding at this point in time. So if you're coming in DraftKings now, yesterday would have been the play when you saw the Penn Gaming rallying. You say, okay, well, now it's setting up where Penn's back in favor. Not that Penn and DraftKings are the same thing, because we know DraftKings is a more pure play on online betting, where Penn obviously has the physical casinos as well. But they still tend to trade together to a certain extent. Big reversal in Penn yesterday, which helped DraftKings lift into the report, get the report. It's good, raising guidance, all the ducks in a row. You get the pop. This is now, if you bought it yesterday, would probably be the selling opportunity as opposed to the buying opportunity. But let's see what it does at 55 to 56. So on pullbacks here on DraftKings, if I was to get and you don't want a complete reversal, but if it starts to leak back, 51, 52, 53, maybe you start thinking about it. But I don't like chasing. Again, though, if you're in the trade, I think 55, 56 is a good target.
The other thing too, we talked about, and this is just order, placement, feel for the markets. I gave you that low of the move at 63.01 in Penn. You bought it on the way down. You're like, Joel is an absolute idiot. I can't believe I bought it there. And then it goes to 61, and then you put that buy stop in there on the way back up. You have the momentum going your way, and they're like, oh, that was what a great number that 63.01 was. So, I mean, it's hard to gauge when they're coming down, they're getting blasted. If you're a super long-term investor and you want to, you're buying this at 63 and you're holding on to 53 and you're selling it at 85, then, throw those orders out there. But when you're short-term trading and you want to take a buck worth of heat on something, just different styles going with the momentum, and certainly got the momentum going to the upside yesterday. Do we have any? We did the Zynga report. Was there any other? I know Box reported, but that's not doing anything. I don't know if we want to talk about that. Were there any other significant reports?
Yeah, there were a couple. For the moment, I'm racking
Novavax.
For some reason, I'm blanking on sympathy plays here for draft. Maybe Golden Nugget. I don't know. I'm sort of racking my brain for sympathy.
Well, GNOG is one too. Yes, that one was under the radar. Full disclosure, I still have a chunk of GNOG. We know I sold a chunk up at 18. I wish I would have sold it all. But it's hindsight capital is always 20/20. I think you're setting up here on GNOG. Good sleepy play there, Spencer. I mean, I'm long it. I'm planning on holding the little piece that I'm long. Would I buy more for a trade? Maybe. Hasn't really gone far. 11.34, 12.25. You're up a buck from where you were yesterday, which is 8-9%. It'd be nice to get this under 12. I don't know if you're going to get it. Can it move? Does it have room to 13? I think so. I think it's got room to 13. It's an interesting setup.
Bally. Don't forget Bally, guys. I keep talking about that one. You guys
most
don't know about that. BALY.
That's big physical casinos too, though, isn't it?
Well,
yes.
It's actually a few things. It's brick and mortar casinos. It's mobile sports betting, and it's also regional sports networks.
Wasn't that around a long time ago, or is that always? Did it reorg, or
it's very complicated. It was a corporate reorg, and then they sold the naming rights. This is not. I don't think this is the same value that.
I don't think so either. Now I know.
Company. I forget what the name of the company was before this, but they bought the Bally name, so it's not the same company that you're thinking of. But yeah, Bally name has been around for a while. Okay, you want to go Novavax, Dennis? That was yesterday afternoon. Earnings the numbers are frankly irrelevant. They talked about the vaccine and the need for a COVID booster. The FDA, I guess, is developing a COVID vaccine booster plan. Whatever the plan means, could be ready within weeks. That was a report from Dow Jones yesterday. Novavax lost money last quarter. They lost almost $5 a share. Sales almost $300 million. I don't know how relevant those numbers are with regards to the company, because it's all about vaccine, frankly. And so
they still don't have their vaccine approved.
They still don't have it approved. They are working. It was reported that it would be done in the third quarter. They get approval in the third quarter. Well, we're in the third quarter, so I know they're
get the thing approved when it's gone. COVID's gone.
They said they expect to file for emergency use with the WHO in August, but still no approval in the U.S. for Novavax.
Before we get into the technicals, we now have clear separation. Freddie in the chat saying the same thing. We have clear separation between Moderna and Novavax, and Moderna is the rock star. If we look back 6 months ago, it was COVID stocks, Novavax, Moderna. Those are the two stocks. You now have clear separation. There is one big winner here, and it is clearly Moderna. Why? Because these guys are geniuses. Guys and girls are geniuses over there. They're doing so many different things. Like you talked, they've taken to flu, they've taken to HIV. They just seem to be on top of it all. Novavax still trying to get their vaccine approved. So completely dropped the ball. compared to Moderna. Best
You
of
getting
breed
hit on any
all the way
bids?
has been Moderna. Pardon me?
Are you getting hit on any bids out there?
Joel's still looking at the SPY. Stop looking at the S&P. Man, that's
All right, I'll stop
boring.
looking at
It's
it.
down 20 cents.
Okay. Okay. All right.
He can't stop looking. He's like, oh my gosh, we're down 20 cents on the SPY. Sorry, you don't look at SPY, you look at the futures. We're down 3 points on the futures.
Okay, go ahead.
Novavax down $32. So it's getting smacked around here today. Is it a buying opportunity? Maybe. Do you have news flow that it's going to eventually get approved? Probably. Would I buy the dip on Novavax? Maybe. But again, you're not buying best of breed here now. We know which one best of breed is, and it's Moderna. I love Moderna. Now, I'm not chasing Moderna up here, but I love the fact that they've proven me wrong, because both of these I thought were one-trick ponies. Moderna is proving that they're not going to be a one-trick pony. Novavax, we still don't know if they don't even have one trick yet. They're still trying to get a trick because they're trying to get their vaccine approved. 202. This is the big level here.
Yeah,
it's 2 days, the low from 2 days ago. Yep. Does that hold? I think it can. I think you might keep people just because the mentality is, hey, we still got Delta kicking around. Hey, they're going to get an approval here eventually. I think you might see some buy the dip come in here, but I'm not coming in this one. I'd rather own Moderna on a dip. I don't think I can get much of a dip of Moderna, though, even though it got a couple downgrades today.
You got that low what Dennis is talking about, 202.57. If you do take right now, there's no sign of a bounce. I mean, you had the big wave down. It took you exactly to 202. Good call there, Dennis. It went to 202, got a bounce, but now just kind of hanging out at 204.50. If you do, try that area, don't be a hero. Don't stick around, because there's a big gap there. And gaps are meant to be filled. You have a gap between, where's the top of that gap? Between 188 and 58 and 202.57. So I'd be more interested in this, closer to 190. Moderna, man, this thing, it had the earnings, right? And it made a new all-time high. This thing in the past has had just some wicked retreats, and it really hasn't as of late. So I don't know if these downgrades are going to get it moving to the downside or not. No hand of a big, ugly red candle. Longer term players, I keep an eye on that low from yesterday, 403, because there's not much under that. The pre-market low yesterday was actually 43.90, I believe. But let's see if we can hold yesterday's low.
Fun exercise. Let's go look at the market caps of both of these stocks here, Moderna and Novavax. You can probably quickly bring that up in Pro. I was just bringing it up on my system as well. But if you look, because sometimes you look at stock price and it doesn't really tell you about the company. Market cap is what tells you about the company. Moderna is now a $168 billion company.
Yes.
Just incredible that it's worth that much.
And Novavax is 17.
And the Novavax is 17. So you're talking about a company now that is 10 times the size and market cap. So then you look at it and you think, well, do you really want to own Moderna versus Novavax? I mean, I don't know, but Moderna's doing everything right. But holy mackerel. I mean, even the components, it's like, there's obviously, Moderna's had such a big move that, and this is something, we talk about sometimes, but the IBB is now weighted heavily in Moderna because it hasn't had any adjustments here. Obviously, as you go through and stocks go higher, they become bigger components in the indices. But, sometimes you see the IBB ripping and you're like, why is the IBB up?
That's a great point, Dennis.
Oh, yeah. It's chock full of Moderna.
If you look at the IBB chart, it actually made a new all-time high yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. And Moderna is almost 10% of the IBB.
It's the number one component in the IBB now. It wasn't, a year ago because Moderna wasn't even on the radar. But it's past Amgen, it's past Gilead, it's past Illumina, it's past and BioNTech, obviously. And maybe they readjust these, maybe they reweight them. But right now, IBB is a huge chunk, and Moderna is a huge chunk of it, and Moderna is impacting that entire indice.
And when I just Biogen here, just hanging out between 320 and 340 here, rock solid support at 320 and trying to bust out over 340. That maybe the selling's done from after that that latest release. But
I just want to know how you went to Biogen from this.
Because it used to be the biggest component in the IBB.
Okay. I'm trying to follow your train of thought. Sometimes Joel gets on his own train of thought.
Biogen is, it's still up there.
It used to be, it's a biotech stock, Dennis.
Yeah.
No, I know.
And it
but
used
we
to
were
be the
talking with
biggest
Darren,
component. It
I
used
was
to
just
be
wondering
the
how you
biggest
went to Biogen.
because it used to be the big dog in the IBB.
And now it's only 3.67%, so it's come off significantly from where it was.
Yeah. I'm pretty wild how it used to be. What was the four horsemen? It was Biogen, Gilead, Regeneron, and somebody else. Maybe Amgen. I don't remember. Anyway, it's all Moderna right now.
Can we do 5 minutes ticker time?
Yeah, let's do ticker times. We've gotten someone's been asking about. Jose's been asking about XELA. This is a small one. I don't know if you have thoughts, but Jose's been asking a lot today, so I figured, Jose, you've been asking a lot. I'll bring them. I'll bring it up there. XELA, smaller one, not very active. But if you have thoughts, great. If you don't, okay. But Jose, you can't say I ignored you because I see you.
I have no idea what this company does. It's the first time I've ever looked at it in my life. If you're just looking at pure technicals, you had the big rip for whatever reason, because I don't follow the company, and then you had the back down and support. Now you kind of consolidating above 3. I'd say as long as you're above 295, you could take a flyer on it.
Yep.
Below 295, I don't like it. This is right from Joel Elconin, textbook technical analysis.
Staring right at you. If you're looking for any, big upside move here, first things first, and you're ways away. 354. That's your 2-day high. That's all I have to say on Excelatech.
Here's a good one: Salesforce, because everything ripped higher yesterday, but software as a service especially ripped higher yesterday. Salesforce, which has been not a great chart, but it was up nicely yesterday. The whole sector was up yesterday. Let's look at Salesforce here. This is one that it's been on my watch list for a very long time. I'm glad I never bought it though.
I bought it and sold it, and I shouldn't have sold it. Obviously, it's up farther than when I bought it here now.
253. I mean, that's where it needs to get to. That's the next resistance area. I mean, it did stall at 250 right here, but you can use these 2 highs here if you're leaning on something, but the major resistance to me is closer to 253.
I don't have much of an opinion on this one.
Oh, okay, fine. What about UpWork?
Ooh. So now that
Jason Raznick favorite.
That is a
stay at home.
Stay at home.
It's right at major support. It is at the crossroads. It is at where it needs to absolutely hold. The only problem is this 45 level. It's like, okay, you got here in June. You came back to it in July. Now you're coming back to it in August. We often say the third time is a charm. Takes out support, and then you're going to see 35 on this thing. It's at key support, though. If you want to take a flyer and say, yes, we're going to have a triple bottom here, we always say in technical analysis, there's no such thing as a triple bottom. It's not always true, but it often is true. If you're buying it here, you're saying UpWork's going to have a triple bottom. I don't know. I don't know if it is or not. Joel, I think
what happened yesterday? Was it earnings yesterday?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that candle.
It may have
what was the UpWork sell-off yesterday?
Can't keep them straight. It was earnings. It was earnings yesterday. No, it was not earnings yesterday. Stop it. No, it wasn't. It was a convertible senior note offering.
So they had earnings, disappointed. Then it consolidated for a few days. Now they, dilute it. And I think this 45, 46 level is critical.
Yep.
And, if you're buying it here, you got to stop yourself out. Under 45, I'd get the hell out. So you're risking $1. I don't think it's going to hold, which is why I'm not going to put it on. But if you're putting it on, I can't argue with you. You're at support. It's okay to buy stocks with support. But when they break support, you got to get the hell out.
Okay.
Let's do one more real quick. You know what? We haven't talked about Robinhood today. Let's talk about Robinhood for 2 seconds. HOOD.
Oh, man. Wow. That's all I have to say. 50, predictable bounce level, big hole, psychological number, 50, 46 the low yesterday. That's obviously critical for it to hold now. I feel like as much as it was overbought 2 days ago, it's actually oversold now, which is unbelievable to say in 2 days. And the volume is just incredible. You're trading this thing after hours, and I think I made 2 or 3 trades on after hours because I just can't help myself. But it's like it's open. After it's like 7 o'clock at night, and the thing's a 2-cent market. And it's like it never closes. Like it's like open at 4 a.m. and closes at 8 p.m. Because usually stocks get less liquid after hours, but this is trading like it's like middle of the day liquidity. Like it is so easy.
Really? I'm sorry, I still didn't hear the stock.
We're on Hood.
It's Hood, Robinhood.
Oh, Hood. Oh man, I was thinking about that one yesterday. I mean, the big boy sold, right? So I mean, you could use that as an indication.
I like it off 50.
Yeah, 59. I think it might quiet down for a couple of days. You get a pop up to 59. That's like halfway. So that's what I'd be looking at for an upside target. And if you're looking to get into the cheap, I mean, they got close to filling the gap. Got a gap down to 48.59. So that's the Hood. So all right,
let's hold 50. I think if you're trying Robinhood, you don't want to see it below 50.
All right, I'll let you guys finish things up. I'm going to go catch all these tickers we missed and on Pre-Market Prep Plus. So, Spencer, I'll see you at 3:30.
All right. Quick announcement with regards to the podcast version of this show. And Dennis, if you want to stick around, cool. If not, that's cool too. We've been having some issues with when it comes to uploading the podcast. I don't know if anyone listening to the podcast is actually going to see this, but I'm going to make an announcement anyway. If you listen to the podcast via SoundCloud, SoundCloud sucks. Okay. So we're moving off of SoundCloud for right now. The podcast is still available. We're on iTunes, we're on Spotify, we're on Google, but SoundCloud sucks. So we are still doing the show every day as a podcast, but it's not going to be on SoundCloud anymore because they're terrible. So
don't we have a lot of subscribers on SoundCloud though?
You'd be surprised. Yeah. So I don't know how they're going to hear this because
why are we stopping if they subscribe there?
Because SoundCloud sucks. Literally, like we can't upload anymore. Like it's a whole thing. They're not helpful when we ask them for help. We were trying to figure this out for 2 weeks. SoundCloud is terrible. So the podcast is still made every day. It's still posted. We're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, we're on Google, but just not on SoundCloud. Okay, I will make an announcement in podcast form.
We need to post that there. There's sometimes 1,000 people listen to us on SoundCloud every day.
I know.
A lot of people, Spencer.
I know. I'm trying to reach them, but I don't know how because I can't upload anything.
We should upload one more to tell them where to go. Can we upload one more episode?
I'm trying.
Upload one episode that just says, hey, if you're a Pre-Market Prep listener on SoundCloud, listen over here.
I'm trying. Anyway, there was a bunch of tickers I wrote down. I wrote down Cook and Weber and MVST and FLCG and Wells Fargo and Genie. I wrote down and Carvana. Chill Bill, Carvana, I see you. Okay. I wrote all this stuff down. We're going to talk about it on the live trading show coming up next. So, Dennis, have a good rest of your day. Surprise me again with some positions on Monday. Okay. And yes, I did forget my glasses this morning. What are you going to do? No, actually, I'm just wearing contacts. This has been on my list of things to do is wear contacts more often. So it's Friday. Why not? But someone, I think it was Andre, said my shirt was inside out, and he did make me look. So my shirt's not inside out because I have a pocket. That's how I know it's not inside out. But anyway, SoFi. Oh man, every day with SoFi, Matt. You ask about it. Stop making me look at it, okay? Can I add Pre-Market Prep at the close of the podcast? Yeah, Josh, I can do that. Safa, how many fingers? Oh, I can't see that. I'm sorry. It looks like 4 maybe. Yeah, Josh, we can get the at the close up as a podcast. Definitely. Let me talk to our podcast team about that for sure. For sure. Yeah, okay. FLGC. I see you, Steve. Okay, FLGC. I got it. I wrote all this stuff down. Okay, I wrote it all down. Bailey, I got you. Okay, I wrote all these tickers down. Here's what's going to happen. We're going live here in a couple of minutes on our next stream. We're going back to normal today. Different streams for every show. One will end, and it'll redirect to the next one. So live trading with Benzinga is coming up next. You got me, Mitch, Ryan, Zunaid going live till about 10:30, and then at 10:30, I'm going to have an interview with the CEO of Perion, ticker PERI, Duran Gerstel. He'll be on the stream in about an hour and a half, talking about advertising growth. Digital ad spending. So that'll be at 10:30. So this stream is going to end and it'll redirect to our next stream. So all that being said, please remember All the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. One in chat, if I should go back to the glasses, two, if you like the no glasses look, and then I'll do whatever you want. How about that? Do whatever you want. All right, smash that like button, please, and thank you. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're doing subscriber-only Fridays today, so you got to subscribe to comment in the chat. And by subscribe, you just hit the little button on YouTube right there where it says subscribe, and then you're subscribed. Okay, cool. I'm done. This show is over. And 2. Oh wait, I forget which was 2 was the context. Is that what I said? That's what I said. 2 was the context. Okay, fine. I'm seeing some 2s. I can do that. Really, I'm just lazy. Is what it comes down to. And really, I'm just, and I have like no one to impress anymore, right? So like, who am I trying to impress? No offense to all you. It's mostly just laziness. I used to wear contacts all the time, and it just takes an extra 2 seconds. Anyway, okay, let's stop. I'm done. I'm gonna end the stream. Live trading with Benzinga coming up next, and we're gonna walk you into the open, and we'll have some fun. Maybe I'll do a YOLO Robinhood trade today, or not. I guess we'll find out. See you there.